In this video, I will teach you an extremely simple way to unleash your guitar playing to its full potential. As a beginner, we learn chords with diagrams like this. But at some point, we set those diagrams aside. We can actually visualize the shape of the chord. We might not even know the notes yet, but we can see the chord and we know what it sounds like. So why don't we continue to learn this way? If we can take this D chord, the shape of this chord, and it is movable. This is G, A, just like we did here. But these little triad shapes, a triad is just the three notes that make up a chord. These little shapes, we can create some awesome riffs and licks with this knowledge. If we just take the top part of this D-shaped chord, 2nd fret and 3rd fret here, with the open D string, when I realized that these guys were using these little chord shapes, and you don't necessarily have to know all these notes, but the shape of the chord creates so many classic rock riffs and licks that we know and love. A fun and useful exercise to get better at visualizing the fretboard in these little shapes is taking these classic rock riffs and breaking them down and see how they're using these little chord shapes. So we're basically just visualizing the fretboard in a different way, not note for note, just little blocks of notes. But if you play these notes one at a time, it's called an arpeggio, but I really like to look at these blocks of notes as triad shapes and then play them as you will, as whole chords or pieces of those. But if we look at Jessica from the Allman Brothers, using this D-shaped chord, but playing an A up here, playing the notes one at a time. 9 on the G, 10 on the B, and then 9 again on the E string. Playing the chord one note at a time, and then hit 10 on the E string, full bend, back to, release it back to 10, and back down the chord. Just outlining the chord, adding this D note. Actually, when you bend it, you're hitting an E, which is part of the chord again. And then it goes back down to 7 and 6, and then sliding up to 9 on the G string. Second time around. So 9, 10, 9, 10. Hitting 9 and then hammering on and pulling off. Hit 10 again on the B. 9, 7, 6, 7. Back to 9. Back to the root note here in the 2nd fret of the G string. Really looking at A the whole time. So another triad shape, this D, back to A. literally hitting the notes of the triad. So we have this shape, 11, 10, 10, hit the open string, D, sliding up on the G string to 11, hitting 10, and then, so 10, 11, 10. So open D, then slide to 11, 10 there on the E string, 10, 11, 10. Repeat. Literally hitting all the notes in that triad, in the chord. Same thing. When I realized that so many of these classic rock riffs were just that simplistic triad shape, it just really, a major light bulb went off in my head. It got me excited about playing the guitar again. So You Shook Me from ACDC's using this D shape. So you're just using these two notes here in the second and third fret with the open D ringing, but sliding all the way up to 7 and 8 here. That's what gives it that great sound at the beginning. So while the D is ringing and the D note here in the 7th fret, you hit this on the 10th fret of the B string. Back to D. Slight bend on the 3rd fret of the D string. Still leaving that D string ringing. And even that, we're looking at this D shape. Looking at the G, couple different fingers, but again, once I realized that most of these guys were just using little blocks of notes, triad shapes, chord shapes, and scale shapes to connect those, a major light bulb went off in my head. It got me excited again to play and learn on the guitar. This is one thing that will level up your guitar playing right away, is if you start working on these things, just like you did when you had these little chords on the bottom of the neck. It's the same principle. They're all movable, and you can work on them up and down the fretboard. Check out some other riffs that you like. See what chord shapes they're using, and you will level up in no time, I promise you. Thanks a lot for hanging out with me today. Let's talk soon.